Guys, we are live from Blade Show 2019 in Atlanta, Georgia, and we are sitting beside, Jason and I are sitting beside legendary Hall of Fame knife maker Ken Onion right here.
The one and only right here.
We got him in the seat. We have to thank Joel and CRKT for doing that.
I always get a kick out of that.
That's good, yes.
Have you been in there and roamed around yet?
For a minute.
For
I've
a
been in
minute.
meetings all day.
So when you go into a show like this, what do you look for?
New stuff.
Okay, tell me what
New
you're looking
stuff.
for, though.
I'm looking for innovation. I'm looking for somebody who's clearly outside the box.
Innovation?
That's maintaining practicality. I'm looking for the next cool thing.
Right, and we were talking a little bit about before the show, and that when you did the home front, it was on a vintage kick and that kind of thing because you were looking at things that were from video games, kind of.
Well, like I said, CRKT had asked me to build a tactical folder.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of tactical folders nowadays kind of have these video game feels to them. I think the younger generation of guys nowadays are kind of raised up on video games, and that's where their eyes been trained. That's what they look at and say, well, hey, that's cool, that's boss, that's mean.
Right.
And I didn't want to be in that sea of everybody else. I never have. I think my career pretty much speaks for the fact that I've been a kind of a standalone guy. If everybody's going big, I go small. If everybody's doing something else over here, I'm complete opposite. So I was thinking, well, I want to kind of go back and look at the old patterns and the old textures and the old feel and flavor. World War I, World War II, that whole era. And I wanted to do a folding knife that kind of had those flavors. And of course, the home front came out. Right. And we got the tank tread jimpings. We've got the fabric, the old web gear.
Yep.
So the texture on the handles from that old web gear. We've got the bayonet lug flipper. And if you look at the old German knives, they were narrow in the heel and they were wider in the front. And of course, the blood groove is nostalgic. I think every military in the world has a star.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, just giving this thing, it looks like a fossil. It looks like it's something that should be quite old.
Oh, sure,
right?
yeah.
And the one you're holding,
but it's new and it's modern and it's different and it's cool and it appeals to, like, my son and daughter really love vintage.
right? Oh,
Right?
hands
Yes,
down.
of course.
Us old farts, we just think, well, hey, that's cool, that's my style.
Exactly.
That would go really good with my members only jacket, right? My Velcro shoes, right?
Yes.
Right? So why not?
You can throw it in your fanny pack and just go anywhere you want to go.
Yeah, and then the 70 and 80-year-old guys are like, hey, that looks like something I carried in WW2.
That's exactly right.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I wanted to design something with mass appeal and appeal to all generations.
But you went further with it than that, though, right? You have this look that is amazing for that knife. The action is amazing on that knife, but that knife does something that no other knife does.
It comes apart.
It does.
Yeah.
They made this whole technology out of it.
I've been in this industry for a minute now, right? and because when you open these knives, you see, well, this one here says CRKT, but it says Ken Onion.
Right?
And CRKT sells a lot of knives.
Right?
Kershaw sells a lot of knives.
Right?
And they got my name on it.
Right?
So where do a lot of people like to send their knives when they need a little tune-up? Not back to the factory from whence it came,
Right?
but to the shop of Ken Onion. Let me tell you, folks, I have opened up and cleaned up and rebuilt some of the most gnarly knives you can possibly ever
I
imagine.
can only, yeah, sure.
Inside of a pocket knife is a petri dish of just nastiness. And people don't realize it.
No, of course not. Well, you never see
They
it.
don't realize, you don't ever look in there, right?
Exactly.
I mean, you sweat all day, you get pocket lint in there.
Take the apple apart with it.
Exactly, the juice is running down. You cut your steak. It's all in there, and it's fossilized. It's petrified in some instances.
Now I've got to go clean my knives.
See, like I was telling CRKT, if you just had like a microscope and you could take a cotton swab through it and put it on a glass slide and see all the little crawlies through a microscope.
We've got a new line of videos to do now. That's a great idea.
So I wanted to build a knife that you could take apart with no tools. Something where if you went out hunting and you field dressed a deer, or if you're making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, whatever the case may be, you could take the knife apart with absolutely no tools and no small parts that you could lose.
Exactly.
So you just take this rear wheel here and you thumb it until it clicks, and then you drop the front bail, and then you just kind of drop the knife, and it comes apart.
Yep.
Right?
Then you can clean
and there's no
every
little
bit of it.
pieces, there's no little parts, there's no little nothing on it.
Right.
right?
That is so cool.
Now you can clean this thing off in a river, creek, stream, in a sink,
Sure.
whatever you want to do. And then to put it together, you just do this here. Just do everything in reverse. And you start thumbing this wheel forward. Got to line it up first. Thumb this wheel forward. Squeeze the front end together. Trip this lever. It's ready to rock and roll again.
And that's the part
That's
that
so
kills
cool.
me on that. Is the action didn't change. It is exactly the same.
Yeah,
and we just
exactly
added
the
3
same.
pieces.
Yep. And this is the 25th anniversary CRKT home front in M390 steel with titanium handles in a take apart made by Lion Steel in Italy. Johnny's done a hell of a job with this thing. It's limited to 500 pieces. I have no idea what the price is.
They're all numbered individually too.
I'm
which I
getting
thought
one
was cool.
free, but
Well, you should.
you know, what's that?
You should.
Well, I think I'm gonna Bogart Joel's or something. It's,
what you ought to
it's
do,
better
yeah.
than
I've
mine.
been stealing stuff from him all day, so don't worry about it. He's got me tomorrow too.
I
So.
figure I've been in it for a while. I ought to get a little perk once in a while.
Exactly.
And I really love this knife. I love carrying this knife.
Oh, but no doubt. Well, again,
know?
it has that tremendous look and feel, and it's completely functional. It's more than functional. I mean, it's one of those pieces that you go, oh, you know what? That's gorgeous, but I can use it. I'm not afraid
Yeah,
to
that
use
was
it.
kinda
and get
weak,
dirty.
by the way.
It was weak.
He does it
I
every
know.
time to
I
me.
do it every time.
Come on.
Ah,
Less wrist, more finger.
He always.
I do it every time. It's because
That could be a
normally-
Kennan quote,
it's
right?
Because normally,
We need a shirt that says
Upside
"less
down.
wrist, more finger."
there we go. But I do.
We could sell that anywhere.
Yeah, that. There's a slacker. That's more of a gentlemanly style knife. Does the same thing as
love
that.
this one, too. And
Love
I was
that,
saying
too.
to you before
Yeah.
the show started, I know one of your knives as soon as I flip it.
Yes.
It flips easy. It feels great in your hand, and it goes.
It's got to feel.
It goes.
It's got to be comfortable.
There's
every
a.
It's
time.
got to have hand appeal.
Yes.
And I don't know about y'all, but when I watch TV at night and stuff, you know, I always got a pocket knife in my hand, and it's, you know, I kind of just, I love all the texture, I love all the feel.
Oh yeah.
So we just got finished with Joe Caswell before you, and I told him
Oh, my
his
God.
Provoke was the best fidget spinner ever invented because you can just sit there and do that whole. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you get out of that meeting in less than 3 hours?
We did. We did. We moved.
Yeah, he used to be a DJ too,
I
so I
know.
mean, this guy has got the voice for it.
That's
He
for
did.
sure.
He did a great job with us.
But he'll get into the weeds with
He
it.
definitely
He'll
sung your
lose me.
praises.
Yeah,
He
he'll-
definitely sung your praises for
Love
helping
that
him
guy.
out.
Love that
Yep.
guy.
Yep. So I do that every time. Have you noticed that? I hit myself with the flipper on the backside of my hand because I'm not paying attention. And I
Uh-huh.
just rack my knuckles with it every time. So here's what I want to say about this. If you haven't looked at this on our site, it's up right now, is it not?
Yes.
We were doing that right before we left. Go look at this. This is going to be a collector's piece for sure.
Hey,
This
look,
slap-
it's even got an overdraft protector on that big washer, so you can't overstretch the lock bar.
right.
You know, it's got a lot
Nice.
of little tricks in it. It's a cool knife.
No, I mean that's a great version of that knife. But you use the same field strip technology in this slacker right here, which is amazing as well.
Yeah, well, I designed this knife for me. I hadn't intended on like doing it for everybody.
Right.
I always sell my knife. Somebody comes along and says, "Hey, what are you carrying?" And then they're like, "Oh, you want to sell it?" It's like, man, I've been carrying this thing for a month. You know, I really like this knife. I don't want to sell. Oh man, I never get one of your knives, Ken. Please, so I always end up selling one, right?
yeah.
And so I was out of a knife, and I was like, well, I want to design a knife for me. And I'm not in the woods anymore. I'm not in the field anymore. I don't really need the big heavy duty, though I really love carrying it.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But for me in Hawaii every day, you know, something to just cut my bologna sandwich and do the little stuff that I need to do, this knife works for me.
Right.
It's kind of got that modified Warncliffe blade, a little bit of an upsweep in it, but the tip's dropped in it. So it does everything. It does everything well. It's the
Right.
right size. You can stick it in your pocket. It's not like
light.
a big ham sandwich, you know. It's-
Exactly.
yeah, you can carry it pretty easy. And it does the same thing. It comes apart real easy. Just again, spin the wheel till you hear it click.
Yep.
Drop the bail. Drop it on the table. Boom, done.
That's crazy.
Put it together. Just do everything in reverse.
So start to finish. Okay, so I know you developed this knife on your start to finish on the first home front. How long does that process take to get through? I know working with CRKT is great. I've heard all the other guys say it, but how long does that process take? From start of you doing this thing to it getting to be to us?
I don't know if I'm absolutely insane or if I don't know how to articulate my words very well or if my drafting skills are just horrible. But I have a very clear vision of what I want.
Sure.
And to try to tell Robin or Doug or Rod or somebody else, no, you just do this, you just do this right here, and actually have it come out the way you wanted it to come
Right.
out,
Sure.
it took a couple of years.
Right.
Yeah.
But they finally got it.
Right.
Well, you have so much tech going into that knife, though. The down to 3 pieces that can pop apart and go
But
back
it's
together.
all-
There's a lot of technology.
See, it's really easy to make something super complicated.
Yes. No. It's
But then
exactly
when you
right.
refine it down to the lowest common denominator, why, that's the difficult task.
Sure.
You know, so I'm really happy with what's come out. We've got a lot of improvements coming. I really believe that the take apart knife should be the standard in the future.
I think you're
Sure.
right. Yeah. Sure.
I just think because there's so many times where we do vile things with our knives and
Yes, we
have a
do.
difficult time cleaning them.
Right.
Well, and how many times do you just not clean the knife? And you
I'm-
go from the filled dressing the animal to the peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Exactly.
Without
I'm a knife
cleaning it.
princess, and I'm always tinkering, and I got all the tools, so my knives are really clean.
Sure.
I can tell
But-
you, I have never taken apart a knife that wasn't like this. I've never done it.
I
I've
neither have I.
never done it.
But when's the last time you went back home and went through your drawer of like lost pocket knives, ones that you just kind of outgrown or what have you?
Absolutely.
And then just taken them and lifted that blade out and said,
Right.
hey,
That's kind of gross.
I lost
Yeah,
that toy when I was 7,
Exactly.
you know?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's what I love about this. There's so much simplicity to that.
I mean, it will be probably several weeks before I get all that tape from all the boxes we offer.
Hey, is that a Sinkovich?
It is. It's the 0462.
That guy is amazing.
Thank you so
That guy
much.
is
I am in
amazing.
love with Dimitri Sinkovich.
You are
I will
validating
kiss him
his
square-
entire
And
life.
he's such a beautiful human being.
Humble as all get out.
Beautiful,
Yes.
beautiful human being. And he
Yes.
gets it.
He does get it.
He gets it. I can talk with that guy forever.
Yeah,
He
that's the
gets it.
0460. It's a large version of the 0460. Not to pump anybody else's knives, but I have carried that for about a year
that's
now.
all
and
right,
love
man. I don't care. I just love knives. I don't care who makes them. I love them. I don't care if they're carbon fiber. I don't care if they're stainless steel. I don't
gotten
care if they're
into
big or
this-
small. I just love knives.
Right.
What was your
That's
first
it.
knife?
It was an old Barlow.
Okay.
But it was one of those knockoff Barlows. My
Yeah, yeah.
my dad did auto body and fender repair.
Okay.
And back in the day, if you bought like a gallon of paint from, car paint, they'd
Sure.
throw in this like salesman sample,
right.
Pittsburgh paint and glass
Yep.
Barlow with
acrylic
celluloid handles or something.
And they've got some ad
Yeah.
under the bottom, yeah.
Yeah, I mean everybody else seemed to get the real deal. I got the generic one, but I was really young, and my dad had ground a tip off and cut the edge off. I was 4,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
I was 4,
Well,
but
no,
I
you
really
started
wanted a
right,
knife.
yeah.
Yeah. And I used to steal my dad's all the time. So he finally like, I got to get this kid a knife.
Sure.
Grounds the tips off it, grinds the cutting edge off it, and as soon as he goes to work, I'm on a sidewalk sharpening that thing. And by the time he got home,
That
I had
is
everything
such a
back
good
in order.
visual. I like it, yeah.
Yeah. I
That's
had to do
great.
it.
And your first custom, along with your first knife. That's good.
Kinda.
Yeah.
See, I was exactly, man.
Modified Warncliffe. on the
Modified,
other
yeah.
side,
Sidewalk
yeah.
grinds.
Yeah, right.
It's not hollow. It's
Modified
that.
clip point Barlow.
That's your next finish. The sidewalk grind on a home front.
See, it was
We're
real.
innovating right here on this
It
show.
had to happen. Who does that when they're poor?
Oh man, that's genius. I love
Even
it.
now while we're talking, what am I doing?
I know you're playing
Oh,
with
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I can't help it myself.
Tony
I do.
Bose would say, I'm chicken fingering the knives.
Yes, yes.
Chicken fingering them
Go
knives.
finger it, you're gonna buy it. That's exactly what Tony would say.
In that voice.
And
Yeah.
he would.
Yeah.
And then you'd say something back and he'd go,
there's-
huh?
But there's something about that action. There's something about that feel in your hand. It's right.
Hand appeal.
Yeah.
You
To
know,
me-
when I first started making knives, I was kind of like, I want to make these cool knives that I really like, and I have all these ideas in my head. But as a guy that was a knife enthusiast, I had this top dresser drawer.
Sure.
And when I opened it up, I got all these knives, hundreds of knives,
Yeah.
right? But a lot of them I never carried. Right?
Yes. Yes.
I always grabbed like the same 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they had
That's how
hand
you
built.
know
yeah.
you got a problem is when you minimum of
When you-
3
yeah,
in your pocket,
exactly,
right?
yeah.
But I always carried the same 3, and I started asking myself, I got all these really awesome knives, and they're all really cool. Then how come I keep picking these 3?
What
Right.
is it about them?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I've really tried to do throughout my career, is design that knife. Design that one you want to carry.
Yes. Yes.
Design that one that, even though you've got this sea of other knives, this is what I want to carry today, and
what
I
you
can't
go to
stop
every
carrying.
time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the texture, the hand appeal, the comfort, the unobtrusiveness. You know, the how well it works in a whole broad range of uses.
Exactly.
So if you're young and you're in the field, of course you want the big, beefy, tough son of a gun, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Working on dozers and
Right.
and working the field, what have you. You get older, you know, you kind of want something to cut your apple.
No.
Yeah.
I always laugh at that
Open your
because people
package.
always want to go, what was the most used knife of World War II? It's the GI standard issue can opener. That's your point.
Yeah.
Everybody got one.
Yep. And they
That's
all
the-
used them all
all the time. Yeah, they brought them home with them. They
Sure.
became camp knives and all that stuff too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the knife.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So here's my only question to you. A lot of people consider you to be one of the biggest innovators in this field. What's in the future of knives? What do you see?
One of the biggest innovators.
No, the biggest. We're just gonna go with that, kid. The
Good
biggest.
correction.
The
Good
biggest.
Good thing you got that. I'm kidding, of course. I have a hard time with this kind of, that kind of stuff. I'm just a dude that's in love with knives, has a bad affliction, and I can't quench the thirst.
Right. I get it.
You know,
I know.
Exactly.
I never went after it trying to
That's
do
why I
all this
want
stuff.
you to
I
look
went
into
after
the
it
Ken Onion crystal ball and tell me what's coming in the future. Let's
coming
go
in the
10 years.
future. I can't tell you that because then I would tip my hat to the world. I do have at least 3 new concepts, new inventions that I'm working on that are really cool.
Nice.
And I feel like if I can really pull off one of them the way I think it's going to be,
Yeah.
it could be another speed safe.
Nice.
Wow.
Wow. Because that was a game changer.
If I can pull it off, if I can make it work the way I have it in my head, it's going to be a mechanical nightmare.
Right?
But I do have a thing in my head that I think is going to be really cool.
Speed safe. That's the first. I mean, literally, I started Smoky 22 years ago. That was among the first knives I bought myself was a leak, I guess. Yeah.
I've had
Among
a
the
chive.
first knife.
Mike,
And I was not a knife
You
guy
know how
when I
many
was
times
young.
I've heard that though?
No, it's true.
I mean, I've got so
My
many
wife
people that
still
love
carries
that
a
leak.
leak. The rainbow leak that they put out
Yeah.
a long time
I think
ago.
Kershaw one time, I don't even know, they probably have more than that now.
Yeah.
But one time they had 94 SKUs of the leak.
Sure.
It sells all the time.
I have a Kershaw chive that I've had for 18 years. It still works as beautifully as the day that I bought it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know how rewarding that is?
It's perfect.
I'm sure it is.
For me nowadays, it's like I'm 56 years old.
Right.
In 20 years, I'll be 76.
Right.
And I can work myself into depression thinking, at 76, can I still make knives? And if I feel like, oh, I'm going to be too old to make knives, I can get myself depressed.
Right.
I don't know what else to do. I
Right.
just love these things. And for me, when I still design with a pencil and paper.
Right.
So I'm sketching out my knives. I always do it in theme. I always think in theme. You guys have always heard that story about how I do this. And I kind of walk around in the shop with one light on, and I come up with a storyline. But then I do there, and I sketch my knives, and I'll do 2 or 3 or 4 designs if I'm lucky in a night. And then I'll pick the ones that I really like, and I'll start refining them, and then I'll go to prototype phase, and templates and prototypes and everything. And then when I'm all done with it, if I still really feel good about it, it goes to CRKT. CRKT says, hey, we want to make it, or no, Ken, that sucks. But if they say, hey, Ken, we want to make it, then it's that year wait, right?
Yes.
Sure.
That year, sometimes 2-year wait. But when they got it all together and they're going to do that big launch, and my fingers are crossed, and it does the launch, and people are like, love it, Ken, it's awesome, it's amazing. There ain't a greater feeling in the world.
Oh, of course.
I'm sure.
Yeah, there
It's
has
like
to
your
be.
firstborn kid, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's the addicting part.
Yes.
Because I'm just doing this in my house by myself, hoping to appeal
Right.
to the same.
Inner thing that made you love it.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly.
Bingo.
Love it.
That goes back to that guy looking at that drawer of knives going, that's the one.
And,
Every
and the
time.
really cool thing about this is I get to do what I love. But there's people that there's employees, lots of employees at CRKT that get paid so they can take care of their families.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
With what I got to think
what
of
you-
myself.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
And then there's dealers, and there's marketers, and there's guys like y'all that are doing their thing. Everybody's getting paid. Everybody's making money. Everybody's doing what they love. Then the consumer comes along and says, I have to have that knife.
Right.
Yeah.
That's reasonable.
Yes.
And
Right.
the consumer says, "Oh man, here's my money,"
Yeah.
and they're
Yes.
happy to do it.
Exactly.
Yes.
There's
There's
not a
not a
hesitation.
negative component in
Not
this
at all.
whole
Nope.
thing.
Nope.
Everything is completely positive. What other thing can you do in life that is like that other than like being a nurse or a doctor, curing
Sure.
cancer?
Yeah. No, you're exactly right.
Right.
You know, I mean,
No, you're
what a
dead on
beautiful
it.
place. What
Yeah.
a beautiful thing to do.
We're going to make it even more beautiful because we're going to give this slacker away to somebody who is watching us live right now.
All right.
And it's not only going to be a slacker that's given away live, it's going to be an autographed slacker that's going to somebody on the live.
Right here on the blade.
Yep, right there on the blade.
That's awesome.
Right there it is.
Kill Onion has autographed that knife. Here's what we've done so far today. We've
Yeah,
done
horrible handwriting, but
You know, you're not the first designer that said that today.
yeah.
So here's the thing: we've got to find a word or words to type in plus hashtag Blade Show 2019. What do we want it to be? What should they reply to this live to get entered to win this?
Oh my goodness.
You got a special word of the day?
A word of the day. Let's think of something weird.
Something weird or funny.
Weird or funny.
Or both.
Well, here's what we got to do: is we got to find a really cool word that somebody can put together in a sentence completely out of context and make it sound good, right? I mean, that's what we do in the shop. We pick
That's
a word
exactly
of the day,
right.
and you have to use it multiple times out of context.
Oh,
Nice.
that's good.
What could that word
What
be?
word-
Let's
what
think
word?
of a good word.
Do what?
Innovator.
Innovator? No, that'd be kind of funny though if you did it out of context. Innovate would be funny out of context.
I'm good with that.
Okay, let's go. So you're gonna write a sentence. You're gonna use the word innovate. You're gonna use it wrong,
Yes.
completely wrong, and you're gonna hashtag it.
But
Blade
it's going to
Show.
sound cool. You're going to go Dennis Miller with it.
That's
You're going
right.
to, yeah, it's got to be cool.
Absolutely. Like,
Bring it to
so
us
good.
creative.
and you're gonna hashtag it Blade Show 2019. That's how you're gonna get entered to win this slacker that is signed by the one, the only, the greatest knife maker of all time.
Ah, come on.
Right.
Come on.
We really do appreciate you coming by. We really
I
do.
appreciate you guys.
No
You
problem.
guys just sold a ton of my knives and made tons and tons of people
You know
happy
it, man.
over the years. You guys
Smoky
are
Mountain Knife
amazing.
Works
Thank
been
you so
around
much.
for 40 years. That's exactly what
Yeah.
Guys, we're
and you
gonna-
know, before I started making knives, I used to buy a ton of stuff off you guys.
Well, of
You know, I would
course.
go to the refinery, man, and I would sell those knives. This guy- I'd sell them to all the people in the refinery, and then I'd be able to collect my stuff.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, I was into hen and roosters back then. you know,
Nice.
the
Oh,
old
very
hen
cool.
Oh,
roosters.
yeah,
Yeah,
heck yeah.
Remember
No
that old
doubt.
stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
This is back in the day. This is when you guys were still fairly young. You guys weren't even born, probably.
Probably not.
It's
At least
when-
small at this
yeah,
point.
Smoky
Yeah.
Mountain was
Sure.
fairly early.
Yep. 40 years we've been in business, guys.
That's awesome.
Again, we are live at Blade Show. We're gonna wrap this one up.
We're having an amazing time.
We are. We're having a great time here. If you're around this general vicinity, we've got one more whole day of show and then a half day of show after that. So come see us. If you're stuck at home, you can always tune in and watch here. We are happy to have you. We are going to completely wrap this up. Ken's now pushing the M390 titanium handle. Home
This is
front,
awesome.
25th anniversary limited edition.
This came out
from
really good.
CRKT. Guys,
Got
we are
all the feel factor.
out of here.
Get on it.
We will catch you for a wrap up in about
Aloha.
30 minutes.